Welcome students. So this is a carry forward class, so which we had done last previous class. Okay, and let us continue. How can we calculate the oxidation state on the central atom? Oxidation state. The oxidation state is nothing but the net charge on the central atom. How can we calculate the net charge on the central atom? So here, in order to calculate the net charge on the central atom, it requires the charge on sphere. So first thing, and second thing is the charge carries by ligand. The charge carries by ligand. Okay, and these ligand types of ligand we discussed in previous class. So here neutral ligands are there, and negative ligands are there, and positive ligands also there. So here if you take H2O and NH3 and pyridine, C5H5N, it is called pyridine. This kind of ligands we are calling as a neutral ligands. And now negative ligands, Cl minus and Cl minus and Br minus. Okay, so this kind of ligands we are calling as a negative ligands. And now NO2 plus is called positive ligands. Okay, so this is three types of ligands we may encounter in the case of complex compound. How can we calculate the oxidation state on the central atom? So we will discuss by taking some examples. Okay, the oxidation state on the central metal atom can be calculated as same way done in the ordinary compounds. Okay, so now we will discuss that. If you take FeCN6 minus 3, FeCN6 minus 3, and here this is 6 ligands are present. These 6 ligands are negative ligands. So we know that the charge on the ligand is minus 1. So here Fe plus 6 into minus 1 equals to the charge on the sphere equals to minus 3. So it will be plus 3. Okay, the charge on the iron will be plus 3, or the oxygen. If you take CO Br2 and Cn twice plus, so this is positive sphere. And now we have to calculate the oxidation state of the cobalt. Okay, so now here cobalt oxidation state we don't know, plus here bromine is negative ligand. So here how many bromines are there? 2 bromines, 2 into minus 1. So cyanide is also negative ligand, 2 into minus 1. Here it is equals to its coordination sphere charge. So coordination sphere charge is plus 1. So here cobalt equals to minus 2, minus 4. So it will become plus 3. Okay, so this is oxidation state of cobalt in this molecule. Now another example is FeC2O4 thrice minus 3. This is also negative coordination sphere, and the central metal atom is Fe plus. So this is bidentate ligand. Okay, so oxalate ion, this is called oxalate ion. So oxalate ion charge is minus 2, 1 oxalate ion charge is minus 2. Here 3 oxalate ions are available. So 3 into minus 2 equals to minus 3. So here Fe equals to plus 3. So the oxidation state of central metal atom is plus 3. So like that, so we can calculate the central metal atom oxidation state. Okay. Now how can we calculate the charge on the coordination sphere? So that is the next task. So if any coordination sphere is given, so that coordination sphere charge can be calculated. So the algebraic sum of the charge on the central metal atom and ligands gives us the charge on the coordination sphere. Now let us take CO NH3 thrice and Cl3, this is one coordination sphere. So now we have to calculate the charge on the coordination sphere. It is obviously it is neutral coordination sphere. What is the charge on the central metal atom? So here +3, and this is neutral ligand, so the charge on the neutral ligand is 0, so 3 into 0, and here chlorine is negative ligand, 3 into -1, so the total algebraic sum is +3 -3, so it becomes 0, so the coordination sphere charge is 0. Okay, so like that we can predict the charge on the coordination sphere. Okay, so now let us take some more examples. Nickel, Py, En, NH3 and Cl. How can we predict the charge on the coordination sphere? Here nickel oxidation state is +1, and pyridine is neutral ligand, and ethylene diamine is neutral ligand, ammonia is neutral ligand, and so the sum of the charge of ligands and coordination sphere, so it become equals to +1, so it is the charge on the coordination sphere. Okay, so we discussed that oxidation state of the central metal atom and as well as the charge on the coordination sphere. Next topic is effective atomic number. How can we predict the effective atomic number? What is the use of the effective atomic number? Now we'll discuss that. Effective atomic number was proposed by Sidgwick, and we can predict the stability of the molecule by using of effective atomic number. Okay, so it is represented as a EAN, effective atomic number. Okay, and now how can we calculate the effective atomic number? So effective atomic number can be calculated. Atomic number of central atom, atomic number of central atom, central metal atom minus oxidation state. So this is OS is abbreviated as oxidation state, plus 2 into coordination number. 2 into coordination number. Now we will take some examples. So let us take K4 FeCN6. So this is one example. So we discussed that effective atomic number is used for predicting the stability of the molecule. How can we predict the stability of the molecule? Now, if effective atomic number is calculated, that effective atomic number is equals to nearest unit gas atomic number, then the complex or coordination entity will become stable. Okay, so like that the stability can be predicted by using of effective atomic number. Okay, now let us see this example. And here central metal atom atomic number is 26, and now the oxidation state of this central metal atom. So the oxidation state of the central metal atom can be calculated as we discussed earlier. The oxidation state of central metal atom is -2. So let us check that. So Fe plus 6 into -1. So here charge on the sphere will be -4, equals to -4. So Fe is +2. The oxidation state of central metal atom is +2. So that here 2 is written. So 26 minus 2 plus 2 into 6, 12. So it will 24 plus 12. So it is 36. It is equals to krypton atomic number. So that it has more stable. So because it is equal, that effective atomic number is equals to krypton atomic number. So the stability of the molecule can be predicted. Okay, like that the effective atomic number is used for predict the stability of the molecule. Okay, I'll give some more examples. FeC2O4 thrice -3, and CrH2O 4 times, NH3 twice, +2, and zinc OH 4 times minus 2. So just you try to calculate the effective atomic number of these compounds. Okay, so next concept is IUPAC rule. So IUPAC names of coordination compounds. This is very important topic in the JEE mains and NEET point of view. So let us discuss. So what are the rules and what are the rules must be followed while writing the IUPAC names and writing the molecular formulas. So let us discuss now. Here two procedures are there. If coordination compound names are given, then we have to predict the formula of the compound, and if the formula of the compound is given, we have to write the name of the coordination compound. Okay, here two processes are there. First process is writing the formulas of coordination entities. Let us discuss that. So here some important points are there, that important rules must be followed. So first one is the central metal atom listed first. Central metal atom listed first. So that is the first point. In a given coordination compound name, first we have to pick up the central metal atom. So that is the first point. And second point is the ligand must be listed by using of alphabetical order. Okay, if two or more different types of ligands are there, so then we have to pick up that ligand by using of alphabetical order. For example, En and ammonia is present, ammonia. So this is ethylene diamine and ammonia. So this is the ligand name starting from the E, and this is the ligand name starting from the A. So that's why we have to first pick up that ammonia A, and after that we have to write En. So like that, priority must be given by using of alphabetical order. That is the second point. It may be polydentate ligand or neutral ligand or monodentate ligand. That same rule must be followed. That is the second point. And third point, what is third point? So when we write the central metal atom and ligand, that central metal atom and ligand must be enclosed with square brackets. It is enclosed with square brackets. That is the third point. And fourth point is, so when we write the molecular formula without counter ion, the charge on the sphere must be mentioned. Let us, it is X. Okay, so what is the meaning of counter ion? Counter ion is nothing but ionic sphere. Okay, so here ionic sphere may be Cl3 or Br3 something. So that ionic sphere must be satisfied the charge on the coordination sphere. Okay, so if ionic sphere or counter ion is not mentioned, so then the charge on the coordination sphere must be mentioned. That the charge must be mentioned on the superscript of the coordination sphere. So that is the fourth point. Next one is, if formula of the coordination compound is given, then we have to write the name of the coordination compound. So here some rules must be followed. So what is the rules? The first rule is, while writing the formulas of the coordination compounds, here coordination compounds are two parts. First one is cationic part, second one is anionic part. That cationic part must be mentioned. Okay, so that is the first rule. The central metal atom or ligand which is enclosed in the square brackets, it should be mentioned. That is the second priority. First priority goes to cation part, and second priority goes to square brackets or complex entity. Okay, first we have to mention that cation part, and after that coordination sphere. Okay, here two types of formulas are there. For example, if you take K3FeCN6, so here this is negative part, this is positive part. And similarly, if you take COBr2 Cn twice. It is positive part. So while write the IUPAC name or formula of the compound, first we have to mention the positive part, and after that coordination sphere and coordination sphere with ligands and central metal atom, and after that counter ion. Okay, like that we have to follow the rule while writing the formulas of the compound. We already discussed that different types of ligands are there. If anionic ligand is present, so the name should be represented like this. If Cl minus is present, then it is called as a chlorido. We have to write as a chlorido. So like bromine, so bromido. Okay, and if Cn minus is present, then we have to write cyano. Okay, so if it is NH2 minus, it is represented as a amido. Okay, and some more anions. For example, carbonate ion CO3 minus 2, it is called carbonato. So carbonato. And oxalate ion, so C2O4 minus 2, so it is oxalate ion, so it is named as a oxalato. And so like that, if NO3 minus is present, then it is called nitrito. So otherwise nitrato. Okay, so like that we have to mention, or we have to write that names. If Cl minus is present in given formula, so we have to write as a name chlorido. If it is bromido is present, we have to write Br minus. If cyano is there, Cn minus. If amido is there, NH2. So the charge of the ligand should not be mentioned. Okay, while writing the formulas of the compound, the charge on the central metal atom should not be mentioned. Just you remember this. While we writing the neutral ligands like pyridine C5H5N, it is pyridine. It should be represented with symbol Py. Okay, and if it is thiourea, so like NH2 CS NH2, it is thiourea, so it is represented as a Ta. Okay, and so like that ethylene diamine, so CH2NH2, it is represented as a En. Okay, ethylene diamine is symbolized as a En. Okay, and next one, so like this given ligands must be mentioned. Next one is, if different types of ligands or same ligands are present in coordination entity, so then it should be mentioned as a di, tri or tetra. Okay, so it should be mentioned in a prefix. Okay, for example, NH3 4 times, so the prefix must be added. Tetra must be added on the prefix. Tetraamine, it should be mentioned tetraamine. For example, if you take Cl thrice, so it may be represent as a trichlorido. Okay, it is represented as a trichlorido. So some exception cases are there. For example, if you take En, so En is nothing but ethylene diamine. So that di is already exist in the ligand, so that to avoid that confusion, so we have to write bis. If you take En twice, then it is bis ethylene diamine. So bis ethylene diamine. To avoid that confusion, we have to write bis. Why we are mentioned that bis? Because that ligand consists of di. Okay, so that di is the prefix number is already exist in the ethylene diamine, so that avoid that confusion, we have to write prefix as a bis. Okay, if it is 3 tris. Okay, like that we have to mention in the prefix. Okay, so bis, tris. Okay, like that we have to mention. If we consider negative coordination sphere, the central metal atom suffix must be added 8. 6 minus 3. So here negative coordination sphere, that's why this iron must be represented as a ferrate. Okay, so it is in the case of only negative coordination sphere. In the case of neutral and positive coordination sphere, it should not be mentioned. Only negative coordination sphere, this should be mentioned. Take chromium SCN 6 times. Chromium SCN 6 times minus 3. So it is central metal atom is chromium. So the prefix must be added as chromate. Okay, chromate. Okay, so like that suffix must be added 8. Okay, so this is in the case of negative coordination sphere. While writing the naming of the compound, so here the central metal atom oxidation should be mentioned. The central metal atom oxidation should be mentioned here. Iron oxidation state is +3, so it should be mentioned in the Roman number, ferrate 3. So otherwise, if you take chromium oxidation state, here chromium oxidation state is 3, so it should be mentioned 3. If it is oxidation 2, that oxidation state 2 should be mentioned in the bracket. Okay, so while writing the central metal atom, so that central metal atom and with oxidation state should be mentioned. Okay, that is the another point. What is ambident ligand? The ligand which has 2 or more donor atoms, but here only one atom can donate the pair of electron to the central metal atom, so it is called ambident ligand. Okay, so the point of the link must be represent while writing the formula of the IUPAC names. Okay, so here let us take NH3 thrice and Cr SCN 6. So here first, this is the cation part, we have to write that ammonia, and next here the ligands is SCN. So how many ligands are there? 6 ligands. So here it is represented as a thiocyanol, thiocyanol. So this is SCN is negative ligand, so it should be represented as a hexathiocyanate. So that this sulfur is linked with this chromium, so it should be represented as S. So thiocyanate S, and this is a negative coordination pair, so that's why chromate. The oxidation state on the chromium is 3, it should be mentioned, chromate 3. So this is the IUPAC name of the given coordination compound. NH4 thies. So NH4 is called ammonium hexathiocyanate S chromate 3. Okay, so let's take another example. NH4 twice, PTSCN, otherwise NCS 6 times. Now how can we write the IUPAC name of this compound? Ammonium. So number of ligands, 6 ligands, hexa thiocyanate. So here the point of attachment is nitrogen, so thiocyanate N. So here this is negative coordination sphere, so platinate. Here the oxidation state of the platinum is 4. Okay, platinate 4. How can we calculate the oxidation state? We discussed earlier. Okay, So platinate 4. Okay, so this is IUPAC name of this compound. Okay, let us see IUPAC name. First we must follow these rules. So one more important point is we have to start the with a small alphabetical order, otherwise it will be wrong. Okay, just you remember this point. While writing the IUPAC name, we have to start that IUPAC names with small alphabetical order. Ammonium. Okay, if you write capital letter, it will be wrong. Okay, so that is the one of the important point. Okay, so this is about IUPAC names. So here what we discussed, while writing the formulas of the compound, first we have to list the cations part, and after that coordination pair part, and if two or more different ligands are there, so that different ligands must be listed by alphabetical order. Okay, and next one, that central metal atom and ligands must be enclosed in square brackets. Okay, and if counter ion is not mentioned, that charge on the coordination sphere must be represent on the superscript of the coordination sphere. That is the rules for writing the formulas. So while writing the names, so here the cation must be listed. Okay, the cation part must be listed. That is the first point. And after that, that coordination sphere. Okay, and naming of the ligands. If negative ligands are present, how can we name that negative ligands? And if positive ligands are there, how can we name that positive ligands? We discussed that. And if two or more same kind of ligands are present, that should be mentioned by di, tri or tetra, like that. Okay, while writing the names, if negative coordination pair is there, then the central metal atom should be added as a 8 in a suffix. Okay, that is the one of the important rule. And next important rule is so while writing the ambient ligand, so that while writing the name of the ambient ligand, so the point of attachment to the central metal atom should be mentioned. Thiocyanato, here nitrogen should be donate the central metal atom, so here N. Okay, so while writing the name, so the central metal atom oxidation state should be mentioned. And one more important point is, while writing the IUPAC names, so it should be started with small a. So these are all rules must be followed. Okay, so let us take some examples here. Tetraamine diaqua cobalt. Tetraamine diaqua cobalt 3 chloride. So how can we write the formula of the given IUPAC name? What is the first rule? We have to pick up that central metal atom. Here cobalt is there, so CO, cobalt. So here aqua is nothing but H2O. So and amine is nothing but NH3. And here two types of ligands are there. Then we have to give the first priority to amine, because alphabetical order A and A is there, it doesn't matter. And next alphabetical letter is M and Q. So here first alphabetical order is M, so that's why we have to give priority for amine. CO NH3 4 times. And diaqua, so H2O. Diaqua is nothing but 2, diaqua. Cobalt, so here oxidation state is 3, cobalt 3, so it should be represented in square brackets. So cobalt 3. So this is neutral ligands. So neutral ligands is nothing but the charge is 0. So cobalt 3. So it should be mentioned cobalt plus 3. So here chloride is there. So that counter ion is Cl. So in order to balance this charge, here we have to write the Cl3. So that is the IUPAC formula of the given IUPAC name. CO NH3 4 times H2O Cl3. Okay, like that. Tris ethane 1,2 diamine. Tris ethane 1,2 diamine. Chromium 3 chloride. How can we write the IUPAC formula? So we'll discuss that. So first we have to mention this central metal atom chromium, so Cr. And after that here ligands, so here ethane 1,2 diamine is there, so that's why we have to write En. Okay, so a tris is present in the prefix, so it should be represented as a 3, Cr En thrice, and chromium 3, so En is neutral ligand, so it should be represented in square brackets, and 3 chromium 3 is there, so it is neutral ligand, so the coordination pair charge is +3. Okay, and chloride, so in order to satisfy this charge, and here Cl3 must be mentioned, so that is the IUPAC formula of this IUPAC name. Okay, now the IUPAC name of this given formula we have to write. So here this is C2H5 twice, so it is called C2H5 twice is called cyclopentadienyl, so it should be mentioned like this, cyclopentadienyl. So here two double bonds are there, so it is called dienyl. Okay, so in the ligand the number is repeated di, so the ligand must be represented as a bis in the prefix, bis cyclopentadienyl, bis cyclopentadienyl. And here iron 2, the oxidation state of the iron is 2, so it should be represented like that. Okay, while writing the positive coordination pair, that ligand must be named first, and after that central metal atom. Okay, so bis cyclopentadienyl iron 2. Okay, so like that we have to write the IUPAC names. Some more examples are there, so I will post it, just you check and practice that. Okay, so this is about IUPAC names. If you have any doubt, just to comment on the comment box, then I will rectify that your doubt. Thank you.